Welcome to CityCast Denver. I'm Bree Davies, and here's what Denver's talking about. Producer Paul Caroli, good morning.
Hey, what's up, Bree?
And first-timer to the show, she's Colorado State Representative for House District 52, the area in and around Fort Collins. Yara Zokai, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So we're going to be talking about the prices of hot dogs at Coors Field, how deals really get done at the Capitol, and more. But before we get into that, a little bit of business. CityCast Denver is hiring a creative producer. So you'd be working with me, Paul, and Olivia every day to make this podcast, our newsletter, help us make social content, and so much more. We're looking for someone who can write, be on the mic, find good stories about the city. And I don't know anything else you want to say about this, Paul, before?
Social media stuff. We're thinking about this in a really new way. It's like, this is, you'll note Bree did not say journalist. We're looking for like someone who loves Denver, someone who loves storytelling, someone who really wants to go out and find that thing that's going to get Denverites talking. That's what we do here.
Yeah.
We're looking for interesting stuff and people who have that oomph, who want to go find it.
We need all the nosy Nancy's out there. Let us know.
Yes.
If you're nosy, if you know people, we want to talk to you. There'll be a link in the show notes with more information, full job description there, everything. So,
and if you don't have all the skills that's in there, I know it's a lot. You apply anyway, or reach out and talk to me about it. You know, I want to talk to you if you think you've got it. I know that we're already getting a lot of interest, but we're really gonna, we want the right person.
We know you're out there. Okay, let's get started. We're going to talk captive pricing. So, Yara, this has been a real hot topic at the legislature that you've been in the center of, which is affordability broadly. But we want to zoom in on this specific issue related to affordability. You were one of the sponsors of the captive pricing bill that would have limited the price that vendors could set on food in places like stadiums and airports. But that bill failed this week. What happened?
Yeah, my baby.
I'm sorry about your baby.
Yes. I think some legislators get very attached to their bills, and I'm certainly one of those legislators. So it was...
That's the second time a lawmaker said that to me today, that their bill is their baby.
Yeah, it really is. And this is my first bill to die. So I managed to make it a year with all my bills passing. So this hurt. But I still really believe in this policy, this idea that a free market works because there's competition. And for some reason, we've accepted that there's these settings where there's no competition and we just allow ourselves to be gouged. And one thing I have emphasized in running this bill is I do think this is illegal, what is happening now. We have prohibitions in our law against excessive prices. And that's in our Consumer Protection Act, and it's in almost every state's Consumer Protection Act. And for some reason, our attorney generals around the country are not taking action on this. And so we felt the need to make it explicit that this applies in these captive settings as well. And so we're talking about hospitals, we're talking about airports, and then the places where we have fun too, in a stadium or in a ballpark.
So what actually happened to the bill then? I mean, you're very passionate about it, but clearly other folks felt differently.
Yeah, I think that what happened is that there is a lot of interest against this bill also. And those are really powerful interests. You think about the people who own stadiums, airports, and then we're talking in the healthcare space as well. We took on a lot of corporate power with this bill. And corporate power has money to hire lobbyists. And that proved to be persuasive to enough people that it just didn't make it out of committee.
Paul.
Did it divide Democrats, though? Or was it just because Democrats are in control? A lot of Democrats talk the way you talk and think the way you think, but some didn't agree with you about this.
Right. So this was a couple Democrats voting with Republicans to kill this bill. And I am very disappointed in that outcome. I think that when you're in the world of the Capitol, things can be skewed. And there were people who said, I recognize that this is a very popular bill. My constituents have contacted me. They never contact me about a bill and they want me to vote yes on this. But I just can't put a stadium out of business, right? And I certainly don't think that lowering the price of a hot dog is going to put $1 billion stadium out of business. But they were persuaded by those arguments. And it's really unfortunate to see the way things get skewed under the Gold Dome.
What about the vendors, though? Because I don't think it's the stadium that would go out of business. It would be the vendors that wouldn't be able to pay the overhead that it costs them to set up in a place like this.
Right. Yeah. And so what we see is actually really interesting. It's those big corporate vendors that are more egregious with these types of things. Like if you look at the airport, the ones that are the local vendors and your small shops that come in and buy up space, they are pretty comparable to their outside of the airport price. But when you look at Starbucks in the airport, they are violating the airport's own 15% policy, and they have prices far above that. So it is really those big corporate actors that I think are pretty well insulated and would not go out of business if they have to match a street price. And truly, we are just saying it can be within a percentage of the street price of what you would get down the street from that setting. So it's not even that they can't charge any markup. It's about how egregious that markup's become.
This is you sometimes hear from progressives who want to do this kind of thing, but it's like mandating prices. And I feel like the business owner response to that is always just like, I don't even know where to start. Like, because this is just like anathema to business owners. You don't want to tell a business owner that they can't price their good. Because what they'll think is, well, what happens if the market changes and no one wants to buy my thing and I can't make it work? You're putting me out of business.
Look, we're in an environment right now where we have families struggling to pay rent, struggling to buy groceries, and a family that used to be able to go and do something fun can no longer do that. It's become a luxury to go to Waterworld, right? And that should not be the case. This is something a family used to be able to do. And as much as us Democrats talk about affordability and having to address the affordability crisis, what it actually looks like is stepping in to where we have price gouging and where we have corporate bad actors. And that can be uncomfortable, but it's a necessary step to actually take on what's happening.
Necessary, even if it means businesses die and jobs go away and people don't have work and can't pay for anything. Even the place that pops up in competition to Waterworld that offers a cheaper ticket.
I just have not seen that happen. I mean, this is what we hear all the time is if you regulate the space, if you say our prices can't be egregious and I can't price gouge, we're all going to go out of business and all the jobs will go away and the world's going to fall apart. And it's never happened. Like these bills do eventually pass. And by God, I'm going to pass this one next year. And the businesses are all still here.
Paul, you not ever bought some very overpriced almonds or something at the airport in desperation because you're starving?
I didn't think about the hospital one, but the hospital one was personal because I had to spend a lot of time in a hospital, like a whole weekend. And I was at this damn cafeteria like multiple times a day. And I'm looking at this horrible looking macaroni and cheese for like $5 a scoop. It's like, why am I doing this again? So yeah, I agree it's a problem, but I like that the macaroni and cheese is there. You know, I like that that's an option for me if I want. And if they are forced to set a price that can't be economical to them and they don't get to have the opportunity to have the business at all, then I'm denied the option of the macaroni and cheese at all. Same with the stadiums. Like, I like that there's vendors there. And if they can't run a business profitably, they'll disappear. No one will want the contracts.
How much profitability, I guess, is the question to me is like, I've been that person at the stadium with a child that wants to eat some. I'm like, oh, sure, $20 for chicken tenders.
Well, that's why I want to hear, did you talk to vendors? Did you see the profit and loss statements? Did they show you like you're killing us? Or
I did not see actual numbers. So I asked for that. I asked for profit and loss statements. I did not get that. And I heard these general arguments, right? But also, I will just say the main argument that I heard is that we're allowed to do this. We can charge what we want to charge. We are allowed to make money. And if we want to attract a more wealthy clientele, we have the right to do that. The argument about vendors going out of business actually came more from members, elected officials, than it came from the actual stadium owners. And it might be because they didn't have the numbers to back it up. I'm not sure. But the argument I heard the most is you're choosing to be there. And so essentially we get to price gouge you. I will say UC Health made record profits last year. Yeah. The Ball Arena made billions of dollars. Their owner is valued at about $20 billion. They spent a couple billion in stock buybacks.
Mr. Kroenke.
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're going to be hurting too much, but it is their job to try to make money, and it is our job to look out for everyday people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to read you a quote from one of your colleagues. You mentioned the free market earlier, and this was an argument put forth by Republican Matt Soper that people don't have a right to attend a sporting event. He says, quotes, someone who has economic means has the privilege to travel. They have the ability to go to these events to be entertained. They go in with eyes wide open that they are going to be paying a lot and that they might be paying more for food or beverage or parking within those locations. And that's the free market at work. What did you think he was saying there?
I think just because you can see yourself being price gouged and that you're entering a setting with eyes wide open, that doesn't mean it's okay to be price gouged. And I think that this idea of, hey, it's for fun, you don't have to do it, it doesn't really, that doesn't really sit well with me. The fact that we're essentially saying that the working class should go to work and go home, right? And that is what they are to do. I don't believe that that's the economy that I grew up in. And I don't think that's the economy that any of us want. Working class people deserve to have fun. They should not be priced out of these opportunities. And the idea that a ball game is now a luxury item, that same representative said a beer at a ball game is a luxury item. When I think of a luxury item, I'm thinking of like
a Birkin.
Yeah, a private jet, right? I mean, we're putting
a PJ,
these things now.
An Hermes bag, I don't know.
We're now elevating this, so this is for the select wealthy few. And that's just not an economy that I think it's not what I want to support. I think we need to work hard to make sure our economy supports everyday people who are working 40 or more hours a week and still cannot afford to do basic things.
Paul, what did you take from that?
I mean, we are seeing the market react to this problem already. It's already working. Ball Arena has these, Empower Field has these. There's vendors that offer the cheaper goods. This has been a trend the last few years. You can get a $5 hot dog at Empower Field now. Same with Ball Arena has cheaper stuff.
Only at certain areas of the, just to be fair, this is not like a stadium-wide thing.
Yeah, but if you know what you're doing, if you've read the news, if you listen to CityCast Denver, you'll know and you'll know where to look.
If you know the secret,
it's not
you
a secret.
Can get an affordable hot dog.
You go to Empower Field, it says big sign right on the top. It says $5 hot dog, a $5 pretzel. It's much more affordable. And then the same thing on the more macro scale, the teams themselves, these leagues, there's problems. You know, there's more people than there are teams. The owners are greedy. They want to consolidate power and keep all the money themselves for sure. Do the teams want to expand to more franchises? That's another question. Why aren't they doing that? But the rise of women's sports is a whole nother, that's a market reaction of offering a more affordable option. It's still not as affordable as I would like and many people would like, but why not just let it work? It's working already.
I mean, I took Soper's comment to be like, sorry, pores. You don't get to go. Like, that's how it read to me.
That's your perspective. That's ideological. You know, that's your politics coming through.
He's a
you disagree with
politician.
them.
I mean, the way he phrased it, it sounded like, oh, well, sorry, you can't, sucks to be you. You don't get to do something nothing more all-American than going to a baseball game. But
yeah,
sorry, you have to be at work.
Was it the Democrats? What was the Democrats' case against it?
There was different opposition from different people, which is why it ultimately couldn't move forward. Because if we had the same opposition, we could work around that, right?
Or something, yeah.
I mean, I said, let's narrow it to the airport, and one person loves that and one person doesn't. It's like we couldn't get there. There was one member who really wanted it to be narrowed to what it truly means to be captive and just in the prison system, and the fact that they're paying excessive prices for ramen, for example, right?
That's interesting.
And that's a literal captive consumer. But I didn't think it should just be narrowed to that, and nobody could get on the same page with what their dispute was. So here we are. And that is what happens when you run a big bill. There's a lot of places for there to be opposition, and there's a lot of money that their entire job is to make it so this thing doesn't pass.
And who specifically was that in this case?
Who was the specific lobbyist?
Yes. Who's
Name
responsible
any
for
lobbyist that represents a business interest and they did not like this bill.
Well, we were talking last week about Polis and how state Dems are feeling about him lately. And I don't think it's just this tension between the governor and his own party. But what about this inner Democratic divide? Are you seeing that play out at the Capitol this session? I mean, speaking of you and your colleagues.
I think that we're a big tent party. We always have those moments where there's disputes over policy. And sometimes those can be more fiery and sometimes they're not. But I think I've been here, it's my second year. And in my time, that's always been a thing. But I think certainly before my time as well. It's just you have this large range of policies and political views within one party.
You all agreed about Polis being wrong about giving clemency to Tina
I am
Peters.
so glad we did. I am so
All
glad we all
66 of
agreed
you.
on that. Yes.
But the letter was like, I didn't think we were going to talk about this, but the letter said that that you all 66 wanted her parole date to be considered, which was after 4 years of her term, her 9-year term. Was that a conversation that 4 years was enough for her?
Oh, I don't think we were saying 4 years is enough. I think we're saying that's something that we can discuss, but we certainly don't want her to have a pardon generally.
Okay. How many years is it right for you? How many years should she serve?
I'm going to just trust the judicial process on this, and I don't think the governor should step in at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, more news. This episode is brought to you by Denver Health. We talk a lot about building a stronger Denver, and one of the smartest investments that you can make, your kids' health. That's why Denver Health is proud to tell Denverites about its Denver Health school-based health centers, 19 health clinics located right inside Denver Public Schools. Students can get medical care, mental health counseling, dental services, sports physicals, immunizations, and more, all without leaving their campus. You ever had to make a dentist appointment or a doctor's appointment for a child when the dentist office is open till like 3 o'clock in the afternoon? If they can do it right at school, it's like doesn't even mess up their day at all. And here's the big one. Services are provided at no cost to families. It's convenient, it's confidential, and it helps students stay healthy, focused, and ready to learn. So if you're a DPS parent, guardian, or student, this is one Denver resource worth knowing about. Learn more about how Denver Health supports our kids at denverhealth.org/SBHC. That's denverhealth.org/SBHC. Hey, did you know CityCast Denver has a perks program? Every week, we're highlighting some standout deals from our favorite businesses in town to help you support local and save some money. It's a win-win. Here's a highlight from this week. Coming to Denver or planning a staycation? Reserve your Mile High Experience box with Green Door. Choose edibles or flour, plus Colorado-made snacks and travel essentials, ready for pickup at our trusted local dispensary partner. Everything you need to elevate your trip and enjoy local experiences. And you can use our code DenverPerk for $10 off. These businesses are offering deals to CityCast readers and listeners because they know you're the most engaged and passionate Denverites. To see a full list, just visit denver.citycast.fm/perks. It's a great way to check out new restaurants, shops, and events in your city without breaking your budget. And I love that for you. And by the way, if you have a local business, you can offer your deals on our perks page too. Visit denver.citycast.fm/perks to learn more today. Okay, we're back. We're zooming out internationally. President Trump's unauthorized war on Iran is entering its third week, and Denverites are feeling this in many different ways, including skyrocketing gas prices. But I think this is a little bit different for you, Yara. Denver 7 reported that you're the only Iranian American serving in the Colorado legislature. What have the last few weeks been like for you?
I mean, for me personally, this has been really difficult to show up and do my job every day with this sense of dread and worry of what's happening to family members in Iran. Politically, it's an interesting thing to navigate as the one Iranian representing a community with a range of views. There are Republican and Democrat Iranians. They have different perspectives on this war, and they all reach out to me, and I am that one voice, and I'm trying to do that justice. So there's a lot of pressure there as well. Generally speaking, I've been very clear that I am against war with Iran, and what it comes down to for me is the fact that we are putting innocent civilians' lives at risk, and it's been painful to see. I think it's getting more attention now, but for a while, the fact that we bombed a school, killed over 150 little girls, and it was glossed over. And there's this real human element to war that I feel like the humanity of Iranians gets lost in the conversation. We talk about this as just the price of war, a war we don't need to be in, that we didn't have authority to start, and that I think just leaves the region less stable.
Well, tell us about the humanity. I know you have family there still. What are you hearing from people?
they can't go outside and breathe the air after we had this massive oil attack. I have family who are pregnant and due soon, and the hospital they were supposed to deliver at is now gone. And they are trying to find another place to go that is safe and to try to keep her pregnancy safe. And as we all know, being pregnant is very stressful. And this is her miracle baby, and she's trying to make sure she has a safe place to be and to have her baby. I have family who can't get access to medication that they need. And then we have family with young kids that are traumatized. Their house is shaking as bombs are going off, and they're scared. And I just think that real human piece of it gets lost. And I think people don't also recognize the fact that Iran is mostly urban. It's a highly populated country. And the true cost of our action here. And it's just been incredibly reckless what our government is doing.
I just want to say that I'm sorry that you're going through that. That's a lot to think about with your family.
Thank you. It's really hard to try to adequately verbalize all that I'm feeling and to do justice for what everybody's feeling. I want to carry that forward. And there's such a range of emotions here. The Iranians that live here fled this regime. And the Iranians in Iran do not want this regime. And so regime change is something that I've been hoping for my whole life. But this is not the way to do it. And I think that most of us understand that Donald Trump and Netanyahu do not have the best interests of Iranians at heart. And what we have here is power-hungry governments that are taking advantage of a situation for their own gain. And what's going to happen is that innocent people are going to die.
Already have, yeah.
And already have.
Where does your family live in the country?
I have family in Tehran and in Mashhad, and a lot of them are trying to leave and go to other areas right now.
Has the bombing, I don't know if you know this, how much detail, I don't know. I guess I imagine. How close are you following it, actually? Are you waking up and reading the news every day?
I'm actually trying not to. I try to check in to make sure everybody's okay, but I, for a while, was refreshing a lot, and I was not doing well. I'll just say that. I have to show up and still be a politician and run my bills, and I was having a very hard time holding it together. So
that's relatable.
I try to just focus on, is everybody okay? And it is not my job to do foreign policy, and focus there. And I hope Congress can actually take some action. We failed to do that in passing the War Powers Resolution. So I'm hopeful that we can find some path to peace, but it feels very bleak right now.
What do you think Denverites should know just about Iran in general, who maybe don't see anything but this in the media?
I just hope that we can remember that Iranian people are no different than us. They have the same hopes and dreams that we do. They get up and go to work and provide for their families, and it can feel like this distant place, but Iran's a beautiful country, and over 90 million people live there, and they deserve to have a safe, peaceful life.
Thank you for just taking that moment to share your personal experience. We're going to take one more quick break, and then we're going to get into how a bill becomes a law.
For real, though.
For real. The real. We're back. The real deal. How are the deals getting done? How do lobbyists affect policy? But we were thinking about it, and we were like, where does this happen? Sure, you're at the Capitol all day, but
you're holding hands and you're singing together. And
we're all getting along.
You're in activity circles, and you're all
high fives
working together on each bill. But
we did it.
We've heard many things that happen inside the Capitol, obviously over drinks and such. But what about outside of the Capitol? Where do you think, where are lawmakers going these days? Maybe to really get these things done outside of that big building.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So for me, it's on I-25 as I drive home in stop traffic every day.
Relatable.
And I think that I'm right at the cusp where I live in Fort Collins, and it's like right on the edge of insanity that I do commute back and forth. But so for me, it's in my car. But I will say this, most of the time when I'm going to grab a drink down the street, I'm trying to not negotiate my bills. I'm trying to forget all that just happened that day. But I think there's a few spots. But I think most of the bill negotiation happens right outside the committee room, I'd say.
We're still kind of early in the session. Have there been big ones like tense fights? Have there been tears?
Have there been tears?
Yeah.
Every day, my friend.
Really?
I think people don't. I said this recently to a friend that like you don't realize how often we cry in this building. And if you think about it, we're running on very little sleep. I've been stuck in this hot building with the same people for 12-hour days. And then someone says, like, I don't know if you did that as best as you could. And it's just like, there's a lot of emotion in that building. I mean, we say the building runs on feelings, and it's true. Especially towards the end, it's mostly just vibes. And that's not where the best work gets done. But
vibes and vapes, I hear.
I don't know about that, but certainly vibes.
Sounds like the Capitol needs a cry room like you have at church. But that's usually reserved for babies. But
I will say my office is mostly couch. It is
so
80%
that could be the cry
couch.
room?
It is not a normal way to design an office, but I needed a safe space. And so anyone watching this that is in the Capitol needs a space to cry. My office is open to you.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
So the down the street like vent session, that sounds like it's probably like different parties probably have their different spots. I think you're maybe more on the progressive wing of the Democratic Party. I'm just don't want to put a label on you.
Okay, so you want to know the
yeah,
so
give
I
me
think
the map.
Okay, so I think that I'm not invited. I've heard that Republicans are at Brown Palace more than I haven't been invited to Brown Palace, so it's probably right. Which I think is really nice. Maybe we should take over. Pub on Penn is a typical spot. Stoney's. There is
Stoney's Uptown or Stoney's Lincoln?
Oh. I didn't even think about it. I just forgot there was two.
These are really difficult questions. For someone who's mostly on I-25.
Stoney's Lincoln, that's kind of the apartment association spot. Stoney's Uptown, it's like restaurant people. Yeah.
I mean, what used to be Purple Door Cafe was where I would have serious meetings. But there's a Satellite Bar is right down the street, so you can walk there. So I've had some vent sessions there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like I've seen people making deals at Champagne Tiger and Shish Kebab Grills, two places I've at least seen important people having lunch together or
Champagne
drinks.
Tiger, I think, is more drinks.
Yeah.
It is more what the hell just happened today. Shish Kebab, I think, is more serious. We're having lunch. Yeah.
You only have a limited amount of time.
We'll talk more policy there. Yeah.
I could see that. Oh, both delicious places, by the way.
Amazing.
Highly recommend both.
That's hilarious.
Paul, where would you go if you were making a deal?
Are you going to come crash? Or
No, I got my spot. You know where my spot is, Brie. My favorite place
Chipotle?
to go. No. Yes.
I mean, Chipotle's not a hangout
I'm not
place.
inviting anyone for like a first meeting to Chipotle. If I'm trying to say,
atmosphere.
hey, maybe let's do some business together. Maybe let's get to know each other. Vibe, coffee, and wine.
Oh, I always forget you go there. I still don't know where that is.
I love this place. Big, beautiful windows. It's
Is this
great
where
in the
we were?
morning. No, I don't remember.
Did Paul take you there?
I don't remember where you told me to go.
Queen City Coffee.
Look, I'm putting the
That's
thing
where we
you
met.
say in a map.
Oh,
and
yeah?
I'm mapping there, and I don't even know. I couldn't tell you how to get back.
We're
I'm
gonna-
a very directionally challenged person.
Where is Vibe?
Vibe is, oh man, maybe I'm directionally challenged too. 14th and, it's like a block from DCPA. Curtis, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's in the bottom of a
Apartment
thing.
building?
Yeah, apartment.
That's what I pictured. The name
Across from a beautiful
is not appealing
billboard.
to me. Okay.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm with you. But the space, it's wide open.
Gets
You
the
can
job
kind of
done.
like get away from people a little bit. It's a lot of, it's really nice. Really nice.
Yeah.
Really like it. Queen City, though, also good. I literally went to 3 different locations of Queen City Coffee yesterday.
I still
Hundreds
can't
of
believe they're
people.
not a sponsor of the show, considering how much time we spend in them and how much we love their baristas.
It's a great company.
It's the one that's in the at 17th and Larimer, where we work, sometimes has this gorgeous, I mean, it's always busy, but it has nice booths and nice tables and like a banquet where you can sit a bunch of people. It's Queen City is where it's at.
They're doing a new thing. They have this person. Wow, I wish I had her name, but There's a woman who sells Texas-style hand tacos.
I saw
and she's
that.
doing a thing where she's going to be rotating to different Queen cities.
Okay.
Yeah, I got one yesterday. It was pretty good. Pretty good.
As a person devoted to the breakfast burrito, which is the breakfast, I feel like, of the choice of the region, I've never ventured into a breakfast taco before.
Yeah, very Tex-Mex, I think.
Okay. Well, to give it
What
a
about
try.
coffee shops, though, Yara? Morning coffee shops?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Or you
These
stopping
are hard-hitting
at
questions.
Ziggy's on the way down from Fort
I am
Collins?
not, although I do love Ziggy's. I'm having the free coffee that's in the Capitol.
What are they brewing? Is it good?
And then whatever industry is trying to lobby us that day has burritos, typically breakfast burritos from Santiago's. I think the entire building runs on that. So I will stop by, say hey to the petroleum industry, grab a burrito. That's how I start my day.
Free meal is a free meal.
Or I'll go to Call Your Mother.
Call Your Mother, good.
Yeah.
The one on the former 7-Eleven in Cap Hill. That's close, right?
Yes.
It's on 13th and
13th.
It was the 7-Eleven 20 years ago, and then it was abandoned for another 20 years, and then Call Your Mother finally moved in there.
I like that, Call Your Mother.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a little pricier than I'd like, but I pay for it.
You're not captive.
You would say I'm
you
being
could walk
price
down.
gouged.
You
by
could
the
walk down the street.
Competition.
You could go to City O City.
You're not stuck in an airport.
What other places are you being price gouged, by the way, from your perspective?
Well, I ran the price gouging bill last year, and it was about like what price gouging is it's taking advantage of a situation. So it's not just the market at work. It's because there is maybe less supplies. There's less toilet paper because we have a pandemic. And so now they're going to up the price. Or they're going to take advantage of a fiscal crisis and say that things are more expensive because of tariffs, but they're not really because of tariffs. They're adding on additional prices for their own bottom line. So it's not just the fact that actual costs go up. It's taking advantage of that in order to put a markup. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I'm going to check the prices next time I'm at the Denver Zoo, because I can't think like that's a place where, although you can bring your own food in, to be fair.
Okay. Hey.
So
Same with Coors Field.
You can?
Here we go.
I mean, that's part of this. Sorry.
I know.
Pricing, but you can bring whatever the hell you want in.
Even if you can bring your own food in, that you should not be gouged just because you are stuck there.
Yeah.
I'm
just gouged a lot.
Go to Costco, get a hot dog.
I think we all are. I think we are in an economy that is rigged against everyday working people.
Wait, can you bring drinks in? Most places you can't just bring a drink in with you.
I don't know if drinks in
There's
Coors
no way
Field,
you
but
could
you
go
can
bring
definitely...
your own alcohol. That's definitely not allowed.
No, that doesn't seem right. That feels
But
wrong
even just like
that.
a pop or like, do they make you dump your water? I don't know. Okay. Now I'm going to be paying extra attention to this.
Because they have the vendors on the street outside Coors Field that sell like peanuts
and water. Yeah. That's true.
Cracker Jacks and
they should be relatively the same price inside. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Paul, Yara, thanks for joining me. This was really fun.
Hey.
Yeah, it was good to see you this morning, Yara.
You too.
See you next time.
That's all for today here on CityCast Denver. If you enjoyed the show, want to take a minute to tell Representative Matt Soper about us. Rate the show wherever you get your podcasts, follow us on Instagram and TikTok, and subscribe to our morning newsletter at denver.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. See you later.
Like, do I look okay?
I'm like,
can someone show
Nick
me?
is the only one that knows.
Nick, but like really? Like, do I need to like fix something? Is the blazer weird?